How you doing, everybody? It is your guy, Tazz the Angel, back with more car talk. Good conversation you can ride to. And I just want to start off like I always do, saying thank you guys for everything that you've done, that you're doing, that you will continue to do. We're growing, man. I checked the streaming numbers using the Anchor app. And this is just the audio only streams, and we're very close to 3,000 listens. It said 2.9 thousand, so we're very close to 3,000 listens. Thank you guys, man. This is great. This is great. Oh, really quickly, I want to show you guys something. And for the audio users, you won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to hear it. Not sure if that's a good thing or not, but you will. I will be speaking slightly different today because, as you can see, I have a retainer. I got a root canal done last Thursday, and I will be going back for a checkup this Thursday, which is in a few days. I have to have this retainer because they took the broken tooth and the root out, and they put a healthy root in to heal my gums first. And within 4 to 6 months, I'll be able to get an artificial tooth put in there, so it won't just be empty space in my smile line. So having this retainer, of course, will affect the way I enunciate my words. So I'll speak slightly different because of it. But I just wanted to let you guys know that ahead of time. And the retainer is because there's no tooth there. They don't want the other teeth, the two teeth beside it, to the left and right of it, to close in their space to become close, because they can naturally do that. So I have the retainer to prevent that, which I have to wear for 23 hours a day. I can only remove it for 1. And what's crazy about it is, if you have it out for longer than an hour, you can definitely tell it when you put the retainer back in. You don't notice it, but your teeth are definitely moving if you have an empty space in between two teeth. They're definitely shifting, and you can't tell, but when I put the retainer back, I can feel that it has to put them back in their respective spots. But on to the actual topic. The way I got to this topic, which is actually going to end up being a series, was because of the root canal. Actually, my grandmother, who is 90 years old, God willing will turn 91 in March, called me a few nights ago to check on me because my parents informed her about the root canal. So, she calls me at night and she's asking, hey, are you okay? What all did you get done? How long does it take to recover? Asking questions to kind of get a temperature of, what I was dealing with. And we were on the phone for maybe 5 minutes. And she said, well, I'm going to go ahead and get off the phone now. I don't want you to have to do a lot of talking, especially because she knew I was out at the store. And she was like, you're already outside. It's kind of cold. I don't want you having to talk too much. I love you, and I'll call you and check on you tomorrow. Now, for some people, that may have seemed super basic, but for me, that was a really important conversation. because when I hung up, I just sat in the parking lot because I hadn't gotten out the car yet because I was on the phone with her. So I just sat in the parking lot and I was like, yo, my 90-year-old grandmother is checking up on me 2 states away because she heard of me having a toothache.
Yes,
Let me turn this on vibrate. And for any of you hardcore cartoon fans, I'm not gonna say the name of the cartoon. You guys know who that was who said guess who. The only hint I will give you is it's a show that comes on and was introduced to us through Adult Swim. But back to it. So, to me, that was it was crazy. Like, it made me think of other things that my grandmother has done. And this is my mom's mom, by the way. But it just made me think of her as a person. And she's just an awesome woman. Last year, 2020, 3 members in my family were diagnosed with coronavirus, including me. My grandmother first, my mother, and then me much later on in the year, because I tested positive at the end of October. And out of the 3 of us, my grandmother dealt with it the best at 90 years old. She was completely asymptomatic. No coughs, no headaches, no fatigue, no sweats, no nothing. She was walking around cooking and cleaning like it was regular. But me and my mom were like suffering from especially fatigue. And I did the podcast telling you guys that not only did I have COVID, but I also had pneumonia at the same time. So I had some getting over to do and getting through to do. My grandma handled it like a G, man. Like, she was not fazed. So I went down the rabbit hole and I thought, I should do a series about my family. So this month, instead of getting the usual bi-weekly episodes, I will be giving weekly episodes because I want to do all of my episodes or all of my family. I want to do this family series in the month of February because it's Black History Month. I apologize for the train. It is going to sound off a few more times. It's one of those that are loud and slow. While I wait for it to shut up, I will get some more of this beverage. My favorite, this is my favorite soda in this cup. And my favorite soda is cream soda. So that's what I'm drinking of. The sounds of that train should be done being a nuisance. But, so I'm going to be doing weekly episodes. about family because I want to do the family series, like I said, during the month of February, which is Black History Month. Today's episode is about my grandparents. I'm sorry, my grandmothers. Next week's next week's episode retainer. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it, by the way. Next week's episode will be about my grandfathers. The third week will be about my parents. And the last one will be about my siblings. I have one blood sibling, but of course, an uncountable amount of spiritual siblings. So, my grandmothers, I'm sorry. I keep saying parents, my grandmothers. My mom's mom is Annie Pearl Covington. Should I say that? Yeah. It's public knowledge. And my dad's mother is Ernestine Johnson. Both of them whether directly or indirectly have had and will continue to have large impacts in my life. My mom's mom more so because I was around her more and she was around more. My sister and I would spend summers with her in Starkville, Mississippi, which is where she's from. She worked at Mississippi State, the college, in the cafeteria. One thing that I remember a lot of what my sister and I used to do when we were there for the summer, two places we would walk to. At the end of my grandmother's street, there was a snow cone place called Snow Biz. And snow cones aren't really so popular nowadays. At least it doesn't feel like they are. But when we were kids, snow cones, especially Snow Biz, because it was the top of the line snow cone place, was super popular. So we would walk down the street, and down her street at the very beginning. Like if you take a right to turn down her street, right there at the beginning of that street, if you're facing outwards, like if her street and her house is behind me, I'm standing at the stop sign facing outwards. To the left side was Snow Biz, and to the right side, was a Sonic. Well, my sister and I would constantly, almost daily, want Snow Biz snow cones, and I would get the Tiger Blood with the extra cream. I don't remember my sister. I think she would like try different things. Most of the time, I would get the same thing. Every now and then, I'd switch up. But yeah, I remember those vividly, by the way. We would spend summers there. I started drinking coffee at 8 years old because we were with my grandmother for the summer in Starkville, and I would follow my grandma around. So she would get up in the morning, watch her news, make her a pot of coffee, get herself a mug with a saucer under it to carry it, because you pour the hot coffee in there straight out the pot. That mug is hot, so you put the mug on the saucer so you don't have to touch the mug directly, avoiding the excessive heat. So one day, I'm in there in the kitchen with her, and I see her making her coffee. I'm like, Grandma, I want some. And she was like, you don't want none of this. I said, Grandma, I want to try it. You ain't gonna like it. I just want to try some, Grandma. Alright, now, if I give you some of this coffee, you better drink all of it. Yes, ma'am. So she fixed it up like she would, with a cream coffee, a creamer coffee. I'm sorry, creamer and sugar. Of course, there's coffee in the coffee. Creamer and sugar. And she pours some into the saucer, because the saucer was specific to its own mug. Each saucer was specific to the mug. It would have a ring in the middle of it where that mug could sit, and inside that ring to where it wouldn't shake or move around. So she poured the coffee in the little ring that would hold the mug so it wouldn't spill over. And she lets me drink it, and I sip it, and I'm like, I like this, I want some more. So from then on, whenever I was up with her in the morning while she would watch her news, we would both get a cup of coffee and just watch the news. So a lot of funny memories there. I'll tell you one thing that happened that I still have the evidence for. You ain't gonna be able to see it right now, but I was learning how to ride a bike, and I taught myself how to ride a bike. It's not that I didn't have the dad to push me or anything like that, but I just wanted to. I would be sitting in the house, and I'm like, you know what? I want to try to learn how to ride that bike. So I would just get up, go outside, and just like try until I finally learned how to ride the bike. It was a green and black, I want to say Murphy. I think it was Murray. I remember how it looks. I can't remember the brand, but I want to say it was Murray bike. But so I'm riding in my grandma's street. There, it's a hill. So I would try to learn going up the hill, because if I can ride the bike straight and properly going up a hill, then on a flat street it's nothing. And especially going downhill, because momentum will do all the work for me. So I would ride up the hill. And so I ride up the hill, and instead of walking it back down, I was feeling kind of good. So I tried to ride the bike back down the hill. And fell off, man. I don't know. I don't remember if it was just me losing control or if I hit something. I don't remember why I fell, but I fell. I'm talking about rolling fell. It wasn't no cool fall. And I had on the inside of my left knee, it was scraped open. And honestly, when I looked at it, it looked like the face of a lion, like the cut, because it dug deep. It looked like the face of a lion. I was like, yo, this is weird, but it hurts. So let me go to grandma and see what we're gonna do to fix this. So go in there, she fixes it up, and I still have the scar from that to this day. That's why I say I still have the evidence. But I'm outside, it's cold, and I got pants on, so you ain't gonna see that tonight. But yeah, so those are just a few of the memories that I have with my mom's mom, grandma. And again, she's 90. Excuse me. Still with us, so I still make more memories. The last time I went to Mississippi for this past Christmas, and I went to her house, or to her apartment, and spent a few hours with her, and I recorded some of our conversation out once. It's like maybe an hour and a half of us just talking and laughing, because I want to have these memories. I want to be able to just sit and not just wait until, if she passes before I do. I don't know. It's not a given. But, just even now, while she's still, very much so alive, listen to those stories that she was telling me about her working at the college, Mississippi State University. Stories that she was telling me about my mom, different things. So that's just a little bit about my grandma, my mom's mom, Annie Pearl. That's a little bit about Annie Pearl. Now to Ernestine Johnson. Ernestine Johnson is different. Rest in peace to her. She is no longer with us. I'm not good with, honestly, death dates. I'm not. I'm great with birth dates, but not good with death dates. So if I'm not mistaken, she passed in 2015. It was either 2015 or 2016. I'm not good at remembering those because I choose really not to. But she's well, before I continue, now I'm gonna give a few characteristics of Annie Pearl first, and then I'll talk about Ernestine. So Annie Pearl is a really sweet woman, very God respecting. I don't really like the term God fearing. You only fear punishment, and I don't think God is the embodiment of punishment. So she's a God respecting woman to the fullest. No nonsense, would tell you to go outside and get your switch, and if you went in there and tried to play and give her a little small one, she would go outside, because right by her door, okay, right by the front door, there's a bush just made for switches, okay? Anything, and you can just reach and grab, and you're gonna get you about 4-5 good switches. It's like that was specifically planted there to be able to whoop. So if you went out there and got a little foo-foo switch, she said, okay, give me 3 more like it. Or she would go out there and get them herself. She would braid them into a plait and then get to you. And then get home to you. No nonsense. Funny as I'll get out. The way I have, I'm smart alecky, sarcastic. A lot of that comes from Annie Pearl. Talks mad trash. She's the reason why I got into both football and wrestling. Monday nights were dedicated to Monday Night Raw, Monday Night Football. Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, was SmackDown. Yeah. But yeah, so Annie Pearl is the reason why I got into both football and wrestling. Where I met the first love of my life. Rest in peace to her, Chyna, the wrestler. Before she was on substances. She was an extremely attractive woman. She looked a lot like Lucy Lawless, the woman who played Xena the Warrior Princess. She looked a lot like her before she was using excessive substances. I think it's almost gone. Got something else back there. Anyway, so those are some characteristics about Annie Pearl. Now to Ernestine. Ernestine Johnson was the mama of the street. And what I'll change that. The mother of the neighborhood. I think that's better. She was the mother of the neighborhood. She helped raise everybody's children. If I'm not mistaken, she was also like the candy lady, or snack lady rather, not just candy. She was a snack lady. She helped raise everybody's kids. I think she had a daycare. She ran her house as a daycare as well. Literally raising everyone, most of the other people in the neighborhood's children. Was the one, she would be, if I'm being honest, she was a Medea type. Not one bit of foolishness will she accept. Talk mad trash. I'm talking about what comes to mind is going inside your ear. If it comes to her brain, it's going out of her mouth and in your ear. It's just gonna happen. Funny as all get out. Would get out on you in a second. Like talking about you, she would get out on you in a second, bro. No hesitation. And you always knew you always knew when she was finna talk trash, because she would have this stance. She would lean back in her chair on the couch, and she put her hands. Honestly, no. I was a little kid. She was up in her age. She didn't care. She'd be sitting on her couch shirtless. She like, this is my house. What I need to put on clothes for? Y'all in my house. So she would literally put her hands under her breasts, do like this, and whoever was around was fair game. Like anybody was catching them jokes. When I was a kid, they ended up, I know she was a snack lady now, because she elevated from having snacks in her house to actually having a snack store. There was a building right in front of the house that she was in, which ended up being the house that I grew up in Crystal Springs. Also the same house that my dad grew up, which I think is cool as crap, you know. But about 50 feet, I'd say 50 yards, maybe 50 yards away from our house, there's this red building that she had to sell snacks. Honey buns, cookies, cakes, drinks, chips, whatever. If it was a snack, regular pickles, Kool-Aid pickles, whatever, man. Any type of snack, she had it, and she ran that business. Along with a woman named Elsie. And Ernestine had Elsie as her like assistant, her helper, her friend. And my grandmother, Annie Pearl, had a woman named Alma. And I used to confuse them because they not only had similar duties to my grandparents, but my grandmothers, but they looked similar, at least as a kid. They looked similar. But anyway, back to the topic. So, Yes, she ran that store. And like I said, if you walked by when she was in that stance, you were fair game, man. I will never forget. This is when Ernestine was in hospice. She had an amazingly caring woman named Nora taking care of her, who ended up becoming a great friend to the family because of how she genuinely took care and cared for my grandma, Ernestine. But I'll never forget this. This was 2010. It was late 2010, maybe early 2011. Yeah. And I came home from Alcorn. I was still in college at the time. I came home from Alcorn, and I remember my outfit and everything. I had some black jeans on, an orange shirt. I'm sorry, a white shirt that was white here, but the sleeves were orange, so it was white and orange. And I had a black chain that had a football pendant or charm. I think it's pendant though. A football pendant. And the football was black for artificial diamonds. Of course, it ain't real diamonds. Black diamonds, and the laces of the football were white diamonds. And I was sitting there talking to Ernestine, and it was me, my mom, and I want to say my dad may have been there too. And I'm not gonna tell you guys what my childhood nickname was. But she called me that. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm just going to say Steven. She was like, Steven, come here. Walk up, hey, Grandma, what's up? How old are you? 21. You getting some pussy? Yeah, that's what... In the room with my mom and dad, that's what she decided to ask me. You getting some pussy? So I look at them. I look back at her. Yeah, I'm getting some. Cause I wasn't finna lie. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't finna lie. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting some. You ain't getting no pussy, man. You don't know what you doing with that. I'm like, nah, Grandma, I know what I'm doing with it. Yo, that's Ernestine. You hear me? Ain't no lines, ain't no barriers, ain't no filter, none of that. If I got a question or a statement for you, you finna get that question or statement. You hear me? And that's all there is to it. I'm talking about she just laying there chilling. Steve, come here. What's up, Grandma? How old are you? 21. You getting some pussy? Like I said, I look at both of them, look back at her. Yeah, I do a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting a little bit. You don't know what you're doing with that, man. You don't know. I said, nah, Grandma, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing with it. Nah, you just not starting to learn something. You don't know what you're doing with it. Nah, Grandma, I know exactly what I'm doing with it, Grandma. I promise you I do. I know what I'm doing. You hear me? But that's Annie Pearl. I'm sorry, that's Ernestine, man. That's Ernestine. Yeah, man. An amazing woman. Like I said, she was a mother to the neighborhood. You hear me? I'm talking about. And she had, I think they had, 7 children of their own, if I'm not mistaken, to raise. If I'm not mistaken, my dad had 7 siblings. So, it ain't like she had just 2 kids to raise. She had a full house on her own. And was still the mother to the community, was still the snack lady to the community, Ended up, like I said, she turned what she did into businesses both times. She had a daycare. And then instead of just having snacks out the house, went and got her a store for them. You know what I'm saying? She had that entrepreneur mindset. And I didn't know that as a kid. I just, I'm just floating through. I'm just seeing her do these things, but she monetized on her talents and on her ability, you know. So those are those are my grandmothers, man. Those are my grandmothers. Ernestine Johnson and Pearl Covington. Two remarkable women. I wouldn't ask for any other ones. Those are the ones that I got, and those are the ones I'm glad that I got. Those are the ones that I'm blessed that I got, man. Honestly. So, that's it, man. That's my speaking on my grandmothers. Next week, I will speak on my grandfathers. So look forward to that as well. I appreciate you guys. This has been another episode of Car Talk with Tazz Angel. Good conversation you can ride to. I appreciate you guys for the likes, shares, comments, criticism, critiques, promotion, sharing the post, telling other people about it, word of mouth. I just thank you guys a lot, man. Like I said, audio only streams, we're almost at 3,000 and counting. So I just, man, thank you guys, honestly. I hope you guys have a great day, great night, great everything. I will have both my Cash App and PayPal somewhere down here at the on the screen. I appreciate the donations I've been getting. I'm going to ask that we continue getting more and more. I mean, even if it's only $1 for each episode, each episode that you watch or that you listen to. We're trying to make this a business, a full-time thing, and the way to make something a business is, like I said, my grandmother, get paid for it. She was taking care of people's kids already. Hey, might as well make a daycare out of it. Even the Joker said, if you're good at something, you don't do it for free. Because one other thing, honestly, that I've thought about doing is starting an OnlyFans for the podcast. Hey, I've tried Patreon, but for some reason it will not allow me to upload content. It won't allow me to set prices or any of those things that come along with it. It will not let me do it for some reason. I don't know why, but it will not let me do it. So for that reason, I can't do that. So may end up having to move all of the videos over to OnlyFans. I hope they get an app though. That's too large of a site. Too large of a website to not have an app. What are y'all waiting on? But anyway, you guys have a great day. I appreciate, like I said, the likes, comments, shares, the donations. I'm asking that if you get to this part, if you hear all of this and you take something away from it, please donate $1, $5, whatever. Donate something so we can continue building, because I got the ring light, I now have the microphone. We can continue to make things better. You guys have a great night, a great day, great life. I love you guys. Cheers.